So, good morning everybody. I'm actually going to talk in the next 20 minutes about our startup Rocket Feed. And it's not a product presentation nor a venture capital presentation. The aim is to explain how every one of you can start a startup. Because it's not so easy, but there are problems, there are certain tricks and learnings from our work that surely can help you to start your own. So, the crew, it's Ruben Feurer, myself, and Lukas, Matthias, Micha, Philipp, and Florian. It's actually quite a large team, besides the fact that we're only three that actually manage a startup, but I'm explaining you how it happened and how the three of us at the end were 7. So let us start with a short mission overview. First, I'm taking you into the takeoff. We will talk about the rocket itself. Then we will talk about our turbulences that we had throughout our mission. And finally, I'm having some words about our mission 2.0. So before we review our first mission, it's important that I give you a short introduction to our mothership Blitzhirn GmbH. It's actually the company behind Rocket Feed and was our first aim when we started our startup, because we're not actually just the Rocket Feed thing, we're the think tank for the digital age, and that was actually the first idea. When we decided to do a startup, we thought about what is really needed here, because we all the time had great ideas. We talked to a lot of people, and they all the time said, why don't you just try it? It's so easy. And we in the first time we thought about easy. Actually, we have a 100% job. It surely costs money, and then we need to do this and that and everything. And that was the first problem that stopped us almost before we kept going, because actually you just have to start. So we're focusing on developing digital ideas and online business models, and also we do some jobs besides that. We're not profit oriented or non-profit, just doing great stuff for the online community. But we're always driven by finding the best solution to really give a new approach to something that maybe exists in various facets. So we're building stuff, we're running it, we're building it up until it can run almost itself, and then we want to also sell some certain stuff. However, this still, we're not sure yet, but I guess by managing 2 or 3 online business models, we surely need more help, but it's still open. And the ideas are always user-driven and brand-driven. So we're building brands instead of websites or online business models. We don't just want a self-explaining name and a new online business model, but really a brand, because with building a brand you can make quite a difference. And now we have already launched rocketfeed.com. We're still working on my appointment. It's almost a secret, but it's going into so you can think about it and have it already in your minds, and can invite us later on for a new talk, but it will take some months until it will appear. So back to the captains. We have Ruben Feurer, who's our creative director. He questions design and user interface, user experience since 7 years, and is almost a digital native. He's only 21 years old, but already won quite some prizes for really good ideas. Myself, I'm focusing on the brand experience and running the whole thing. And Lucas, who's our technical director, oh, it's written wrong, doesn't mind. He's also very creative in finding ideas, but he hates PHP and loves Python, so he's really focusing on the whole technical stuff. So you surely wonder, what is rocketfeed.com? It's not an RSS reader, it's not a content aggregator, it's also not a social magazine, it's also not a feed reader. So what is it then? It's for us, and it was for us, the way content in the digital age can be explored, like enjoying a lazy Sunday afternoon with a lot of glossy magazines around, drinking a coffee, and really enjoying the content. And that's a big difference, because you surely know there are a lot of RSS readers from Google, from all other kind of startups. Some even doesn't exist anymore. They have even their shiny pics still online, but they don't exist anymore. And we really want this feeling. We were about thinking about magazines when we first talked about it, and we found the idea, and then we really focused on that the experience of enjoying it, and just maybe have a glimpse on the tag or on the picture, and then go to the next page. That was our aim when we talked about starting it. So it's much more capture what you like and enjoy it in a quality way. And it's as social as we need it. We talked to some people, also very good people, and they talked about maybe adding some social features, but I think it's exactly what happened to Wonderkinder about 2 or 3 weeks ago, when they announced that they they discontinue WonderKit, because they just realized that it's not their brand core. They focus on joy and simplicity, but build something completely different, because just they were watching too much on the competitors, on the other people, and by the way, losing what they're famous for. So it's actually the brand experience that is really, really important for us, and we're trying to talking as much in our corporate rocket language, and also using the universe and stuff in all places. So actually it's almost a bit too bright in here for having this presentation. And I had this presentation as well in a university, where the one professor told me, it's actually not so good that it's so dark in here. And then I responded, well, okay, then Rocket Feed, it's not for you, because the brand is in the universe. We love the dark, and we love black and white and a bit of red. And it's also the good feeling for the user to not having missed anything, because if you have too much information, you probably you can't focus on the right one and miss the one that's especially good for you. So we're trying to give an approach that you can really get hold of everything that's important for you. And we did already talk about this. We think that digital reading is going to be much more important the longer we're here, because now we're having the iPads, we're having Kindles that are in a recent, you can buy there for good money. And also a lot of these magazines, they really now have a digital experience that are worth buying such a device. For example, Wallpaper has a good stuff, I guess. Wired did this 2 years ago, and it's now fantastic. Even sports magazine are much more important. So they all trying to bring an experience that can keep up with the experience you had when trying to look through these glossy magazines. And the nice feeling touching the paper. They're trying to get this feeling through other ways. So by integrating videos or great animations or just small and tiny creative bits. And we have a target group that's already there, and it's not a geek target group. Maybe in Switzerland it's still a target group that's needs a bit to adopt to digital techniques, but in the US, for example, where we actually launching this product, they're already from the fashionista to the urban trendsetter, to the young and rich jet setters, to the digital hipsters. There's everyone around and using it just as it would have been there for years. So actually we can even go to the fashionista who's having her job at a certain agency or in a brand, working as brand manager and just living how the others. And the problem is that up to now people always thought about they're just like geeks using RSS feeds, and that's exactly where we want to go, because our core is simplicity and good but few features and maximized user experience. So we want to bring this whole thing to the user in order that he doesn't have to know what an RSS feed is. He doesn't need to find or to search for an RSS URL or paste it in somewhere. The user can just type what he likes to read and find, and then he will have the stuff. So, but before I talk any longer, I'll just show you the video we made for our rocket feed. So we come to the register thing later on. So let us talking about turbulences, which is surely for you quite interesting. You may wonder where we did start it all, what problems we had to solve, and so I have compiled some of the most interesting ones that could appear to other starters as well. So I love the word Startegy, which I first heard at Lift conference this year, I guess, and it explains quite in a good way what we're aiming to, because everyone has good ideas and has the belief to make a change, and it actually doesn't need a complex business planning, but just to find the right people. So if you want to start something and you're really sure that the idea is good, talk to different people. Also talk to professionals. They're around there, and it doesn't cost you maybe much more than a coffee or maybe a glass of wine, and they're here to help you, because they also have their interest to pushing people, and some are already here and listening to our talk that helped us quite a lot in starting the whole thing. So to start, it actually just needs some believers and set some milestones, but stay agile and don't overplan, because your rocket will find its destination, and I'm quite sure the route change itself through the whole journey, and you have to stay flexible. And you will also learn through the process and doing things much more better. And changes are surely possible and okay, but don't do it in a way that harms the whole thing later on. In our case, what we really did wrong was that we had the good idea to build a prototype before, but we let someone else help us with PHP programming, and this really sucked because PHP is not, in our case, it was not good also for the next steps to make it responsive, to really have a fast solution that is easy to add stuff on. So we already built the whole thing new. And also, don't fear about budget, because I guess no one started with a credit of 100,000 Swiss francs or even more to start, because at first you just need a piece of paper and a pencil, and then you write your ideas and then find some people that probably can do something, just like Ruben did the design, and we also did the concept together, and our programmer who made the whole technical concept, and then started. It's just the discussion whether you want to skip a bit back from your job and go 80% or 60% to give this time in there, or you do it in your spare time. There are a lot of possible steps to start, and actually we had nothing at first. And we did some jobs besides that for companies, and they weren't that much fun, but they gave good money, and we had some spare time to invest in that. But we had some money to start, and then we kept going and went along as it went. And also, featureism is an important part in the stuff. Really, maybe you have a business model that's really on features, then just do it. But really think about this when you start the whole thing. What's your brand core? What's your core experience you want to offer? As I said with Wunderlist and Wunderkit, people will remember what you're talking, and if you're just doing what everyone else does and integrating all those nice features and stuff, you will become the same like everyone else, and people won't have the possibility to distinguish you between all the nice fancy startups. So really stand for something. That's also important why we focus on the rocket feed stuff and why we focus on the brand and the dog. It's almost as important as the features in the end. And also focus on the designful thinking. There are a lot of problems, and you have your experts. In our case, it was 2 technical developers who thought about how can we really speed up the whole thing. What is going to happen when we have 100,000 users or 200,000 users, and they're like feeding each one 40 to 50 feeds in that account, and what's going to happen to the server, because for us there was no possibility to build like a cloud thing in the beginning. So actually it was them to talk us, there's just one possibility, we can refresh it every 4th hour to have new feeds, and that was, come on, there's a problem with servers and users, but there must be a difficult answer to that problem. So actually the answer came from the design part, talking about why not shifting from server to client. So try to think out of the box and in a designful way, and don't take the other one's perspective. Take yours and figure out how you would solve that. Even if you don't have the technical background, you probably have a different approach that can be translated or interpreted as technical solution. And it's actually what also in companies is much more important and will be more important, to really think out of the box to find solutions to complex problems. And also really focus on collaboration. It was the funniest and best thing for us, because we started just being 3 people and doing our thing, but the more we continued, the more we realized that it's absolutely about collaboration. We talked to a lot of people, also figured out how someone can help us with terms and conditions, for example, because we had to talk thought about this because we wanted to launch it in the US. So probably it's a bit different, and when you're there, you need to first look for a lawyer to really help you, and it's also good to find solutions to these problems. You don't have the money or don't have the knowledge. And also, there's no problem to stay flexible by collaboration. You can Skype, mail, doing by smartphone on collab platforms, especially in our case, where we all three are working or on different locations. And also, it's important that you really talk clearly when who has to do a certain thing, because, for example, Ruben is moving to London next year, and then we have to talk to think about how we can manage this. But I'm sure there are a lot of ways and a lot of international companies working in a great way together. So also, if you're trying to do a startup and some of your members have probably exams or whatever, or windsurfing championship they're participating, don't just talk before you set the milestones when probably there's someone missing. Otherwise, you probably get angry on each other. And the last part for our turbulence and learnings, really don't forget, if you have a great model, you're trying or you're becoming focused on really on the product, on it working, and then you see the feeds and stuff, but don't forget on terms and conditions, privacy policy, copy text, illustration pics, soundtracks, videos and stuff. There's a lot more to do, and if you're realizing that, as we did, it can take you almost 4 to 5 weeks if you have good friends and probably photographers, musicians that can help you, and they will help you. And it's always great if you think about this beforehand, otherwise it will be a bit more complex to arrange it all in time. So, and last but not least, think about your marketing concept, because it's definitely an illusion that you will build the next Facebook. Okay, I don't want to take you this illusion, but it happens to so little companies that you have the unbelievable great idea that will picked up from everybody in no time. So you have to have a certain, you have to bring it out and to bring your messages out, and also to talk about your concept and find your users. And there is no bad use in Google AdWords or Facebook ads, and doing a great PR 2.0 strategy, talking with bloggers and stuff, because if you have no visibility, you probably don't have users, and you need users to really build your business model if you're planning something like this. So, to talking about our next steps. By the way, did you know that Google just this May, this year, launched their current stuff? Before they had their awful Google Reader, and now they realized probably there's something going on around there. They just launched itself, but it's still, you need a Google account, you need to give a lot of personal data. With ours you don't. So that's, I just want to say, don't look too much to your competitors, because there's always a Google or stuff, but they have their problems. And if you look closer, you find a lot of great startups that just have a great, nice image they built, but there's no business model already there. Or look for the critics on that business model. Probably it didn't work on iPads or on phones, and just don't have fear if you see a nice shiny pic like this. Try it out yourself before you decide. And yeah, you probably didn't know, but RSS feeds suck, even the big ones. In our case, you don't have images in a lot of time. You have bad description, and that's what we wanted to change. We want to really found a great solution, and want also now finding a great partner to manage this. And we're already in talks with a certain company that builds up all the RSS feeds and make them really perfect, that we can offer this shiny magazine glossy feeling we want to offer. And as I said, the journey has just started, and now we're recruiting for the mission 2.0 and talk to as much people as we can and make as much business connections as we can, because it is important and will also be important for your startup to just talk. You never know what a certain person can help you. Probably they know the person knows someone else that really helps you. So go out on the streets and be visible, because it's the most important thing. If you're just sitting around doing the greatest stuff, probably they will be great, but no one else can help you and no one else will hear about it. And the really last thing, you surely wondered how we ever will earn money. Actually, we didn't talk about or think about this when we started, and it's actually really important, because if you're just thinking about earning money with the great stuff, you're focusing on this fact and you're not focusing on your great idea that's will really becoming or probably becoming special. And I really would advise you to focus on that great idea, because it will lead you, and it will lead you through competitive fields with a lot of great stuff, and in the end a solution will find you, and it will come really almost on its own, that you find a way to earn money that's really also acceptable for the user. Because in our case, we don't want to make ads. We want to really give the user a choice if he wants to pay, if he wants to have better features, and if he wants probably to use it also on their mobiles or iPads. And we want to find a really great way also to give him not advertising but content proposals that can be paid, but we're also developing it then when we have a certain user amount, because at first you really have to focus on the user experience. When everything is okay, then go into it and think about how you can earn money. Okay, think about a little bit before, but then think about concrete ways to, or specific ways to do it. So feel free to come aboard, and we'll start mission 2.0 in just a few weeks, actually. I'm not yet knowing, or I don't yet know when we can launch it, but I guess in a month or two it will be online. Yeah, and it's already online to try out. It's we treat it as public beta. It has probably minor bugs, but we're glad if you mail us, and if you also tell us what you like, what you would like to see there, and to optimize it the best. So feel free to join. Actually, we launched it in the beginning of June, and we really tried to, we pushed it with run-up, with some peer papers to get some certain user base, and we actually see that the users exactly use it the way we want to target it. So they use it through the weeks, in the morning, don't use it during lunchtime, but in the afternoon, and then not on the weekend. So it's actually, we can see that they're using it as a tool to get the whole information they want to consume. But then we actually really thought about, should we really start in investing in ads or professionalizing it? So that was the way when we really thought about programming it the whole new way in Python, make it responsive, preparing apps, and it's almost everything ready. And when we can launch this, then we will start to really doing ads. There are a lot of good ways. I mean, do your rocket feed compilation on probably Spotify, doing ads on all the platform, using Google AdWords, using vertical SEO, talking to a lot of bloggers. going to conferences, talking to people. You can even flyering or stuff. There are quite the good ways, and focus on the ones that don't cost you much. But it's really no, how to tell. Don't think that the users will come on its own. You have to do something for they to come, and ads are not wrong. I mean, type in RSS reader in Google, you will be amazed how little good search results you will find, and there are quite a lot of link lists linking to all this great RSS readers. So there are a lot of possibilities to go there. And yeah, if you're not good in advertising or it's not your specialty, talk to some people in digital advertising, or come to me and then I'll help you doing a concept. Ask Google. No, I mean, we had this problem before with Rupert Murdoch's company, like when they really were suing Google for having their news on their listings. So that's a problem. But actually, we're giving them traffic. When someone wants to read the whole stuff, they're coming to there. We're don't saving at the moment. We're not saving anything or caching anything. And as far as legal is concerned, we had this great person sitting right there, Bernhard Wicki, who Balthasar Wicki,
is the guy
who helped us really finding out, because we were talking about launching it in the US, so we had to find a solution that's also not conflicting the US situation, because actually we have our legal company here in Switzerland, but if you're doing stuff that's like Facebook or other companies, you will get problems if you're not that big, like saving data and stuff. But ours is fully legal. Okay, so you can have a look at our terms and conditions and our privacy policy. You'll find all the ways. It's very clear, and we're explaining what we save, what we don't. What you can do, what's not possible. But yeah, think about it, and think about the markets you want to launch, and also what you want to launch, the next steps, because we already thought when we launched this about mobile, about probably caching and doing, and it's already integrated or just prepared to integrate it. In the beginning, there were just 3 of us. We are the owners of the GmbH, and the others are just they're not fixed in the Blitzern GmbH, but they had their part here, and we also feature them with their own companies because they helped a lot. And it was not so easy, but also not really easy. We worked, like Ruben and myself, we worked in the same company before, but 80%. Lucas was a freelancer there and worked in another company. And now we're working all in different companies, so you really have to focus on weekly meetings, also take your time in your spare time to make like work sessions, and yeah, there's the Sunday and Saturday you can work on it, and it needs in the beginning a lot of your spare time, and it needs a lot of collaboration work before each one can focus on its own tasks, so especially in the beginning. So you should really plan when you meet, when you want to do what and how fast you want to progress. And also talk to your employers if they're okay with working you with some other employee on an own company. It can also be difficult in some ways, especially if they don't know exactly what you're doing and what you're planning to do.
And it's better you don't have any hobbies.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just...
Maybe suspicious. It's quite easy. We in the programming part, we would focus on Python at first, and already maybe be a bit slower and already prepare it to be responsive and to have the apps ready. But in our situation, it was not possible because we didn't have the money. Like we did some jobs besides, and the great thing is we already had the money for the GmbH. We have already have it back. We have financed the whole stuff. But it was like doing another job, and then this was the idea from our third partner that had some spare time and could take some 4 weeks off and program the whole thing in light speed in a new way. But we probably would also think about text and pictures and content and sound and everything before, because we were almost ready to launch the whole thing, and then we said, oh, so let's do the text next week and the picture, and then we realized, oh, it's takes some hours, and we could need some copy text professional, and probably also someone should do a movie, and is he on holidays or is it here, and we could have prepared this much more beforehand, and then it would go like probably much more easy. So it was a good experience. I'm sure when we do the next thing, we know how we want to progress and when we want to start with all the nice assets that are not the product itself, but make the product really rise and shine. And yeah, do it as much before the launch as you can, because yeah. It's what I call Startegy. In a way it was good how it worked, but still I think that Geoff is right that you can prepare some stuff, and it doesn't have to be really close, but there are really some obvious things like terms and conditions, and you know what you're programming. So the other person, we didn't text it, so it was Balthasar who had to do the whole stuff in 1 or 2 weeks, so just 2 or 3 weeks before the launch, and I'm sure he could also have used a bit of more time. I happen to have attended a lot of conferences also with US opinion leaders, like working at Samsung as community managers, or working at Kodak. They don't work anymore there, but working at big companies, and also like the Mashable people and all this stuff. And it's surely a help to get it into this market, but yeah, you have to make contacts, and we also contact bloggers specifically in the US. And how we prepared, our most important part was to prepare the terms and conditions and the privacy policy to really be in sync with the US law. So that's what we prepared, that when it will be big and someone takes a closer look what we do, and also what is running behind the stuff, that everything is fine. But actually, yeah, just you have to get to know the market and how it works, and also talk to people and ask people. Like there's nothing wrong in asking a community manager promoting online business models how to start there. And there are also other nice companies like Swiss Next in San Francisco with Birgit Coleman, for example, who can help you bring your Swiss business model there. And also they have the workshops and collabs. There are a lot of good ways. And also probably you could go into crowdsourcing and asking for ideas. There's unlimited ways probably, but we're just finding out. We have some contacts, but I'll guess the first and easiest part is doing ads in this part, because then there's just the product, and the product that can speak for itself. And if that's okay, then start with all the other stuff.